You're listening to Hot Topics on Good Mix Radio, hosted by Mike Melody and Sheila Harmony. And each week, they dive into the top trends, pop culture moments, and viral stories dominating the web. They unpack the chaos with humor, sharp takes, and insights you won't find anywhere else.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. So this week, we're doing something a little different. Instead of just one source, we're looking at four huge trending topics from the third week of October 2025. The mission today is really to peek under the hood, see what actually makes these things go viral online right now.
Exactly. And these four moments, they seem really different on the surface, right? High fashion, creators stuff, gaming, celebrity interviews. But when you look closer, there's this pattern emerging. It's this mix of like brand nostalgia, creator authenticity, sometimes radical authenticity, and content just built for clips. So yeah, we want to see not just what trended, but the how and the why. What are the actual mechanics?
Right. So the big four are the Victoria's Secret fashion show comeback, the Dan and Phil relationship news, that Little Nightmares 3 trailer drop, and Kim Kardashian on Call Her Daddy. Let's start with the one that was, I guess, designed for the biggest splash. Victoria's Secret. # legacy brands and the search for relevance. Victoria's Secret. Right, so the VS fashion show, it's back again, October 15th, New York City. This is their second shot at a full revival after, everything. And the theme alone, birth, rebirth, morning to night, it felt pretty ambitious, like they were trying to rewrite the narrative entirely.
Oh, absolutely. It was a huge strategic play, a legacy brand trying to completely recast itself while everyone's watching. They have this tightrope to walk. They need that old school glamour, the fantasy, the angel thing that people remember.
Yeah.
But they also have to hit all the marks for inclusivity, representation, authenticity. That's tricky.
And they definitely went for a big visual moment right at the start. Did you see the clips of Jasmine Took's opening?
Oh yeah, unmissable.
9 months pregnant in this golden macrame thing, wings. The whole deal, very deliberately framed as a birth of Venus.
It was engineered to be shared.
Yeah.
Instantly. A statement about motherhood, power, designed to directly counter, decades of the brand pushing one very specific body type.
The casting felt strategic, too. You had the icons, Gigi Hadid, Adriana Lima.
The familiar faces, yeah.
But then Angel Reese, first pro athlete on their runway, that got a lot of buzz, plus Barbie Ferreira. And the performers, twice, Missy Elliott, Karol G. Big names.
A real mix.
But here's where I get a bit skeptical. Okay, a 9-month pregnant model in wings. Is that really empowerment, or is it just like a new flavor of objectification? Are they changing the game or just using a really effective new viral image?
Well, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And that's exactly where the critics landed, completely divided. Some people were saying, okay, they finally get it. This mix of sensuality and empowerment feels right. Others were like, nope, this is cynical. They're just backpedaling, ticking the inclusivity box. The real lesson here, I think, especially if you're watching how brands operate, is about that legacy baggage. Sometimes a brand like VS feels it has to create these huge, maybe even slightly inconsistent viral moments, like the pregnant opener, just to prove sincerity publicly. They need something so big it kind of drowns out the old narrative, even if it feels a bit sudden.
A sort of shock and awe approach to rebranding?
Kind of, yeah. # the triumph of creator authenticity, Dan and Phil.
Okay, that idea of brands buying or maybe performing authenticity is a perfect lead into our next topic, because this one felt completely different, driven by creators making a deeply personal choice. Dan Howell and Phil Lester, the YouTubers, confirming their relationship after, forever.
Yeah, this was huge for internet culture. I mean, the speculation, the fandom, it's been around almost as long as YouTube itself.
Yeah.
And they finally just laid it out, October 13th, 46-minute video, no ambiguity, romantically involved since 2009.
16 years. Just think about that. 16 years of working together, living together, building this huge platform, all under this intense scrutiny. It really makes you wonder about the cost, that parasocial pressure. What does that actually do to people, especially creators who came up in that era?
They actually talked about that quite movingly in the video, the why now question. They said the emotional weight of living in that sort of gray area, managing all those expectations, it just became too much.
Yeah.
So for them, this wasn't really a content strategy. It was about their own mental health, being genuine, which of course has massive positive implications for LGBTQ plus visibility online. But the specific takeaway, maybe for the creator economy watching this, it's about vulnerability as a resource. It's finite. And they chose to use that resource very deliberately here to basically manage the audience relationship and well, take back control of their own story.
And I thought it was interesting they specifically said, their content isn't going to suddenly become all coupley vlogs.
Right.
They're sticking to their style just openly. That feels like a statement, too. Prioritizing integrity over what could have been like a massive viral pivot into relationship content.
A powerful choice. Definitely. Hashtag crafting shareable dread. Little Nightmares 3.
Okay, so from that kind of earned personal authenticity, let's pivot to something, well, more engineered. Engineered assets in gaming. The surprise trailer for Little Nightmares 3, that was just boom, out of nowhere. And the timing really maximized the impact, didn't it? Turned it into this instant short-form video thing.
Oh, absolutely. That franchise is so interesting in how it markets itself. It's not really about jump scares, not typical horror combat. Yeah. It's all atmospheric dread, that feeling of being tiny, helpless. Mm-hmm. But the visuals and the sounds are just perfect little viral packages.
Yeah, they really are. And the third one, people are already hyped. Deeper story, new characters you can switch between, apparently. Add some strategy.
Mm-hmm. New mechanics. But the genius, I think, is how they sell the feeling. They sort of redefined atmospheric horror for a certain audience. And what's key for creators is that those set pieces, the creepy visuals, the sound design, they're instant content hooks. Recognizable, shareable.
So streamers can just grab those moments, those giant weird monsters, the sound cues.
Exactly.
And spin them out into theory videos, play through highlights, TikToks, all that pre-release buzz.
Precisely. The publisher isn't just dropping a trailer, they're seeding assets for the creator ecosystem to run with. And what's really interesting now is some of the audio cues from the trailer, they're already popping up in TikTok trends, completely unrelated to gaming.
Wow, really?
Yeah, so the sound itself becomes a viral thing, spreading awareness way beyond just gamers. It keeps the hype simmering until the game actually comes out. Hashtag the record-breaking soundbite economy.
Yeah.
Kim Kardashian, call her daddy.
That's actually a perfect segue to our final trend, which is almost entirely built on those kinds of sound assets. Kim Kardashian on Call Her Daddy. I mean, this wasn't just another celebrity interview. It apparently broke streaming records for the show. Huge numbers, especially with young women and internationally.
It was a masterclass in providing what you might call content nuggets.
Yeah.
The interview itself was long form. She had space to talk about motherhood, business, whatever. But almost every answer felt, well, designed to be clipped.
Oh, totally. The internet went wild for the motherhood stuff. That quote, being a mom is the hardest job, but also the most rewarding. Classic. Instantly shareable.
Massive. You saw it everywhere. Instagram captions, quote cards, reels.
Yeah.
And she balanced it perfectly with the business talk, too. Those little insights, like, I've learned to embrace my passions and turn them into successful businesses. That's instant micro-content gold for, like, every hustle culture account out there.
But, okay, let me push back a bit here. Isn't there a danger when content is this engineered for clippability? Doesn't it kind of squeeze out the messy, unexpected moments, the things that sometimes create really huge organic cultural shifts? Does the soundbite kill the depth?
That's a really fair question. And maybe sometimes it does. But this episode shows why that soundbite strategy is so potent, especially for someone like Kim K, the long podcast. That gives the impression of depth, satisfies the core fans who want the context. But it's those short, punchy, curated clips that get blasted across TikTok, Reels, Instagram, reaching millions who'd never sit through the whole hour.
So it's like an amplification loop.
Exactly. The short clips grab attention, maybe even drive some people back to the longer content to see what else was said. It maximizes reach and the perception of substance. It's efficient. Hashtag day the bigger picture. How trends go viral.
Okay, so let's step back. We've got this high fashion spectacle, a super personal creator moment, a horror game launch, a celebrity podcast takeover. Wildly different things. But when you look at how they blew up this week, there's definitely a pattern, right?
There really is.
Yeah.
The formula right now, anyway, seems to rely on three things consistently. One, create platform-friendly clips, little bite-sized assets. Two, get creators involved, whether you plan it or it happens organically. And three, feed the algorithm. Early engagement is key. Doesn't matter if it's a pregnant model, a 15-second Kim K quote, or a creepy sound effect from a game. The core content has to be instantly remixable.
Let's break that down platform-wise. How did these different pieces travel?
Yeah, each platform kind of had its job. CoderX was huge for the breaking news field, that immediate reaction, especially for Dan and Phil.
Right, the initial spike.
Instagram drove the visuals, the VS outfits, the glamour shots, behind-the-scenes stuff, very visual storytelling. But the engine that really pushed these from niche interest into the mainstream, that was TikTok and Reels. short-form video.
Taking those little moments.
Exactly. The audio snippets, the key visuals, the danceable clips, turning them into easy, repeatable trends that just spread like wildfire.
So the strategy isn't just about making one great thing anymore. It's about identifying that one key platform-friendly asset, a sound, a visual, a quote, and then seeding it everywhere.
Pretty much. The short stuff kicks off the momentum.
Yeah.
But you still need the longer content, the full podcast, the deep dive analysis like this to give it context and keep the conversation going over time.
Right. The audience eventually wants the why.
Precisely. Ride the short clip wave for visibility. Use the long form to build connection and depth.
Okay, so this whole deep dive looking at October's trends, it really shows that what works online right now is content that feels both authentic like Dan and Phil's raw vulnerability, but is also incredibly easy to remix and share. Like a VS Runway moment or a game sound.
Yeah, it's that combination. So if the internet is all about constant movement, constant churn, and these trends show that platform signals and creators are driving that, often by optimizing for the perfect clip, it leaves us with a big question. And this is something for you listening to think about as you scroll. Does the platform now dictate the story, or does the story still somehow dictate the platform? Really consider that interplay between genuine authenticity and stuff that's engineered to go viral. What's really driving what you see?
Food for thought. We'll catch you on the next deep dive.